Good morning, everyone. It's Carol here from aquahaven747.com. In today's video, I would like to share with you some of several different types of clutter that there is, and some tips on how to work through the emotions and the thought process to help you let go, plus give you some practical tips on where things can go, and maybe a couple of organizing things at the end. I don't know. You'll have to see. So anyway, see you at the end. Here we are in my garage, and I have some great examples for incomplete clutter here. As you can see on this side here, I've got all kinds of paint stuff, and on here I've got deck stuff, and I've got some wood over there. So this would fall under obviously the category of incomplete clutter because it's something that I'm currently working on. I have been working on exterior painting all summer long with the help of my son, and normally what I like to do is clean up at the end of the day, put everything back nice and tidy against the wall, so it's not clutter, it's still easily available. I had kind of assigned this area as a home, so with any current projects you do still need to assign a home and clean up at the end of the day. Give yourself a little slack if you're too tired sometimes, but get right back on that and tidy up afterwards. Don't let it build up day after day after day. On this side here, I have all my deck supplies, and it's getting a little bit untidy here. My boyfriend and contractor have actually been working on that all summer, and slowly but surely it's getting done. And those boards over there are for a shed door makeover that I am waiting for my son to help me with. I'm probably going to move those because I want to put those there temporarily. So I'm going to move those down to the shed where they'll be handy when he's ready to help me with that, which hopefully will be very soon. One way to tidy up and assign something a home is to have a bin where you can put all your supplies in away at the end of the day. Now, I brought up my paint supply bins that are normally kept in my storage room, and I'm going to go through all this stuff here. I'm going to clean that out as well while I'm at it and do a little declutter and see if there's anything I can get rid of and just try and make it a little bit tidier here. This is an example of stockpile clutter. It's not as cluttered as it was, though. I will insert a picture before. I have it all organized. I've kept only the pieces that I think I may actually use. So anyway, I've got like bits of wood, some trim, wood that's good for shelves. I've got some paneling stuff, another big piece of the MDF stuff there. And I've got trim nicely organized in these two areas here and this other wood as well. So I'm pretty sure I'll probably end up using most of it. I've already got rid of a lot. Here is the easiest type of clutter there is, and that is trash. Easiest because you know it's trash. You just got to get rid of it, right? You got to take it out to the curb or make arrangements to take it to the dump or have someone pick it up. Some people pick up metal for recycling. I've got it sorted here, so I've got electronic waste there. I've got metal stuff. I've got a little bit of wood in the back there. I've got pressure treated wood, which is separate from the other kind of wood. I just brought a little sample in here to show you. But this is something that, you know, shouldn't be a problem for you to get rid of. Just got to do it. Now I bought this pond liner with the intention of building a pond in my backyard. So that was 2 or 3 years ago. So this has kind of been weighing on me at the back of my mind. Not that I think about it all the time, but it was very expensive. So it's expensive clutter. It's aspirational because I bought it to do something with. I was planning on doing. I'm not entirely ready to let it go yet. I mean, I feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe next year I'm going to have time to do this. Well, we'll see. I think if it doesn't happen next year, I'll be okay with letting it go. But since I've got the space right now, I'm going to hang on to it a bit longer. I thought I'd show you another example or two of aspirational clutter. So I have these bits of trellis lattice stuff, and my plan is I'm going to use them for making like screen dividers in my planters up near one of my guest suites so that I have a little bit more privacy. So hopefully that happens next year. And also hopefully next year I do a little bit better with gardening, and I also get to have a fire in my backyard. Those are 3 aspirational things. Here is an example of expensive clutter. Once upon a time, I used to collect dolls and these Beatrix Potter stuffed animals, and they were expensive to buy. So I don't want to just throw them out. I had hoped to give them to someone who might have appreciated them. Maybe I should just sell them for real cheap and let them go. So I've got my little ballerina doll there, and then this little fella with this teddy bear. And yeah, I've got a couple of lady mice. Jeremy Fisher the frog. What's the fox guy's name? Mr. Fox. I forget the fox guy's name. Does it say? Foxy Whiskered Gentleman. I don't know. And then Mrs. Rabbit, Peter Rabbit's mom. I used to have a huge Peter Rabbit too, but unfortunately he had a little accident. So actually even these here would be considered expensive. They were a gift and they're also expensive. So really hard to get rid of things that are expensive. And yeah, so I think I'm going to try and take pictures of these too and put them online and see if I can sell them. Even though I know I will probably not get anywhere close to what I paid for them. Another example of a type of clutter is free stuff. I got left a number of things from tenants when they moved out. And a couple of things are right here. This water softener system and the, it's like a table base, which I thought that would be really nice to actually make a table that it could go on. I don't know. It may end up just going to metal salvage someday, but I hung on to it because I'm a creative type and I'm always thinking, oh, I could use that for that, right? The water softener system was left in a house. The tenant had signed up for this. It was a rental like type thing. And then when I went to sell the house, the company would not come and take it out. So I ended up having to take it out. As it turned out, I probably could have left it there and they wouldn't have harassed the new buyer, but I didn't know that until the day after I'd paid a plumber to come and take it out. So, anybody want a water softener system? I'm sure it still works. This is an example of gift clutter. I was given this for a gift. It was also very expensive. However, I never use it. It's really pretty and everything, but I don't need it in my life anymore. And now, it's not like I'm guilty that the person that gave them to me are going to be upset with me getting rid of them because they're no longer here. But for the longest time, I did hang on to these, partly for that reason. So I am going to try and put these online or in an auction and see if I can pass them on to someone who's going to enjoy them. Here we are up in my workshop loft. I thought this would be a great thing to show you for inherited and sentimental clutter. So these iron beds, that pink dresser, the antique doll stroller, a little metal shelf thing, and the pie shelves over there all came from my grandmother originally. This dresser was my brother's when he was a kid. Of course, it was painted blue when he had it. The doll stroller was not my grandmother's when she was a kid, but she gave that to me when I was a kid. I think she got it from one of my dad's cousins who happened to be a junk dealer and had a second-hand store somewhere. So we come by our hoarding honestly. So these beds, I have used them in the past. I've used them for home staging more recently. They're a lot easier to move around than the regular full-size box spring and mattress. My plan was that they were going to go into this log cabin up north, which would have been okay. So we've got aspirational clutter there too. I don't really think that's going to happen. However, I have not jumped on getting rid of this right away because I have so much other stuff to deal with. It's not as big a priority. So you should always leave sentimental stuff for last when you're trying to declutter it. Maybe you can, pass it on to a family member that can use it. I'm hoping that someday my granddaughter will want this and that. If she doesn't, that's fine. I may find a use for it eventually somewhere, but I'm not, I've got the space to store it, so I'm not really anxious to get rid of it just to get rid of it. If I was moving, that might be a different story, but right now it's okay to hang on to a little bit of stuff like that because I do have the space. I've heard some people recommend you take a picture of things before you get rid of them. If it's antiques, you might want to get them a valuation done first, see how much they're worth, and then try and sell it that way, either on consignment or to a antique store. But yeah, there's a few different examples here for clutter, and I hope those tips are helpful. And I have some more types of clutter to show you. This box of comic books is an example of undecided clutter because I'm really not sure how to get rid of them. I had thought about taking them into a comic shop and seeing if they are interested, maybe putting them in an auction, put them online. I have not had time to do that yet, so that's another thing. Seasonal clutter is your stuff that you only use seasonally, but maybe you haven't assigned it a home and put it away. Now I have tidied this up. I have got rid of a few things, and I have assigned homes. So this is looking a lot better than it did before. I also keep my wheelbarrow and my lawnmower in this shed. So these are not really clutter anymore. This is where I'm storing them. I'll try and insert a picture of what this shed looked like before I decluttered. Anyway, I hope this has given you some ideas about what to do with your clutter, depending on what type it is. And I'll see you in the next one.